How's it going, gang? It's the final render here, and welcome back to another Fallout 76 camp build video. We haven't done a build video in a while. I know I've been a very busy bee, and we've also done lots of videos on the survival mode and lots of PvP videos, and they've been really exciting. You guys seem to be really enjoying them. But no, I've been really busy, guys. Like, I've been going back and forth to London quite a few times. I've just got back from a very special recording event, which you guys can't really know anything about right now, but you guys are gonna love it. And not only that, but I also went to go to EGX to go check out some of the indie games and stuff there, the little gaming convention. Never been to a convention before, so that was pretty good. But anyways, let's get on with this camp build video. So all excuses aside as to why there hasn't been a build-in video for a few days, we're just going to get started with this one. It's what I wanted to do for a long time. We're going to be right outside the Whitesprings Resort. And the Whitesprings Resort is obviously a very popular place inside Fallout 76, especially in survival mode, it turns out. And the reason the Whitesprings is a very popular spot is because it's a great place to farm enemies, especially if you go ahead and drop a nuke on the Whitesprings. If you go and drop a nuke on the Whitesprings, you get some of the most popular enemies you can get. But also, it is the kind of center hub for shopping inside Fallout 76. You can get a very wide variety of vendors here, and whilst they don't stock everything, in an update which is coming out in just a few hours time, they will be able to get a vendor from every single faction in the Whitesprings, and you can spend up to 1400 caps. But that's not what I do. In Fallout 76, I've been using a lot of the marketplace. Here you can see me going to a market trader, which you can find on the Fallout 76 market subreddit, and I'm buying some mods for my bloody Tesla rifle. I've been doing this a lot. I've been going ahead and visiting lots of people on Reddit to buy special weapons and sell special weapons. And all these characters who set up these shops on Reddit all have amazing little trading shops. You know, they make their camp a literal shop. And that's what we're going to be doing today. We are going to be making a really cool trader so that if we want to, say, sell some items such as very expensive weapons which can cost up to 25,000 caps sometimes, we can go ahead and do it in this special shop. So let's go. I am kind of basing this design off of a vendor which I have seen in the game. I honestly don't remember the dude's name, but you know who you are. I went ahead and bought some weapon mods for my handmade from you. I'll probably put it in the description. And I'm going to be basing my kind of look off of that design. We're going to be building it right by the actual train station. The idea with this is we are going to be making the anti-Whitesprings build. We are going to be making a trader that actually gives you decent prices, because whilst the Whitesprings is a great place for buying certain things, it's actually terrible for selling stuff. And even buying some stuff is a bit ridiculous. If you try to buy ammo in 76, I'm sorry, you're doing something wrong. Never ever buy ammo in Fallout 76 because it's too expensive, especially at the Whitesprings. But this little trading shop we're going to set up is going to have fair prices and everyone is going to love it. We're going to have rare weapons, we're going to have ammo, we're going to have chems, and everything's going to be at a goddamn decent price so that you might actually consider spending caps on them. But anyways, we're going to have kind of a two-room design. We're going to have one room which has a little shop area and a waiting area. So if, say, I'm putting a weapon mold on your gun, for example, you can go ahead and sit down and wait, maybe play the piano or something. And then in the next room, we're going to have all of our workstations. And it's going to be really good. And the idea with this build is that I wanted to make it out of metal because I love the way neon lights look against the metal. And I'm also using the opposite sides of the metal. I'm using the flat part of the metal for the interior. And normally it's the other way around. Normally the stuff which has the rebar on it is the interior. But I've deliberately flipped it around with some glitches to try to get it to look really good with the neon lights when we're inside. And I also want to have a kind of a secured area, kind of like a pawnbroker's, where there is like a security fence in, where I can stand and talk to the customer for a while. But then, of course, people, the worst happened. So yeah, there was a little bit of a hiccup with the build, unfortunately. This location, it turns out, is going to be used in some kind of DLC at some point in the future. So I went ahead and rebuilt the place. Here we go with the place rebuilt after we lost it. It actually took 2 streams to make this place, and everything we did on the first stream was lost because there is going to be some plans. Bethesda have dedicated that area to be some kind of DLC area in the future, so that's pretty exciting. So when I went ahead and took it back to the Whitesprings, I went and put it behind the golf club. I wanted to have this anti-Whitesprings build to be somewhere where people at the Whitesprings are likely to see it. So I originally wanted it at a train station, but of course now I decided to put it to the golf club, which is still a very visible place. People often farm the golf club for ferals, so they're likely to see this place as well. You often find turret bases here. Here I am using some glitches to get a little post on the corner of a foundation on the outside so we can build ourselves a little exterior viewing platform. The idea originally was to have like a nuclear bomb viewing dome here, but seeing as we've actually moved the place to be inside the Whitesprings, we'll actually be inside a nuclear blast zone, so that kind of defeats the point, but it still looks good. And here I am using the same technique by using some of the upper floor sections to make my interior shopping area where me, the vendor, can stay and be safe. I don't actually have to go near the customer too much, you know, kind of protect me from getting robbed and stuff, you know what I'm saying? I think that's a good idea. And also, for the inside, I want it to be very clean, very tidy, very proper. So what I'm going to do is line up all of my power conduits along the wooden beams on the ceiling, which I have done. I've managed to get a ceiling in here by using the upper floors. So it means whilst I have a pointy roof, I actually do still have a flat area to attach lights to, which is a really cool idea. Typically speaking, if you want a pointy roof, you can't have a flat ceiling. But in this case, I've got it to work. And here we are with the kind of interior of the area built. We have got a little area where I, the trader, can be. We've got ourselves a little waiting area, which is going to be fully decorated where the customers can go. We've got a viewing platform where you can just kind of sit down and have some food, maybe chill out for a bit when you're farming the feral ghouls, a little picnic area. And of course, we've got a little workshop area. Now it's time to actually decorate the interior. Now I love putting the power conduits along the ceilings because it means you can actually attach lights to the power conduits. Because whilst it's true you don't need to attach lights to the conduits to make them work, by doing that it actually looks really good. It makes it actually look like it's connected to the power, which I think is really cool. And now, as I said, this is the anti-Whitesprings build. So I want to get lots of decorations from the Whitesprings and graffiti them. We're going to be using some of the small letters and some of the neon lights to ruin these paintings. We're going to memeify them. We're going to put zeros on their eyes, we're going to put W's on their mouths, and we're going to make them look very, very silly, because we are very mature here on the Final Render channel, of course. And we are very nearly on 60,000 subscribers, so go ahead and subscribe if you are mature. And subscribe even if you're not. Now we're going to put up some cool statue decorations from the Atomic Shop. I love the fact that these little statues actually snap to the stone columns you can get from the Atom Shop. Very, very cool feature, and it looks great. And of course, we also need some flamingos. And unfortunately, you can't just put flamingos onto foundations. But if you want to have a flamingo inside, pop a flamingo inside one of the little plastic plant pots that you can get from the Atom Shop. And then you can put a flamingo inside. Great tip right there. Big tips with Final Render. And now we're going to have our little menu board, so to speak. This is where people can look at the prices of all the ammo, they can look at the prices of all the chems, and they can decide if they want to buy something. I think we've got some pretty decent prices, actually. Because typically speaking, in Fallout 76, one fusion cell bullet will cost 6 caps. It's like, that's ridiculous. We're going to do a much better deal than that. And of course, we're also going to decorate the little interior of where I'm going to be, the trader. Have like some tables, kind of like a little corner design, so I can access all the stashes and stuff, along with lots of shelving at the back so I can store items, you know, things to sell, you know, whether if it's food, chems, ammo, maybe even just sweets or something, I don't know, like you see at a petrol station or a servo or whatever. And then put down lots of confetti from the Helvetia stuff, from the Fastnacht parade. I managed to get all the Fastnacht plans doing Fastnacht, which was really, really cool. And here we are with the interior of the shop done. I really like the way this looks, people. We've got lots of very nice decorations, loads of advertisement. That's definitely something I wanted. I wanted to have kind of graffitied Whitesprings stuff on the right of the room and cool advertisements on the left of the room, because we're the cool advertisement place. You know, we're hip, we're trendy, and everybody loves us. But on the right, we got all the graffiti Whitespring stuff. No one likes that. They're too expensive and silly. But that's the kind of idea I'm going for. And of course, we've got lots of seating areas so that if I'm, say, doing something to your gun, you can sit down and wait. I love the little sign we got. And, you know, 50 bullets for 25 caps. That's an amazing value deal, I think. Lots of cool little prices there, which I think are good. Even 3 for 2 on chems. I think that's a very, very fair price. Way better than what you get at the Whitesprings. As I said, the little sitting down area looks really good with all the neon lights in there and all the flashing bulbs as well. The neon lights really do look good against the metal walls, especially if you do flip the walls around, as I've done here. So the flat side is on the interior. Looks great. And as you guys know, I love it when I'm building like a shop, for example, and players actually turn up and recognize it's a shop. This dude did. I was in the little area and then the dude came up and tried to buy something. So he actually thought I was a real trader. I wasn't, so I didn't sell him anything. But how cool was that, people? We did that with the restaurant, and we also did that here with this trading place. I think that is so cool. It's honestly the most flattering thing when you're kind of role-playing as a shop vendor and a player actually comes up and believes it's a shop. I think that is the coolest thing that can happen when building this area. And now, of course, we need to build our little workshop area and picnic area. Now, the workshop area is tiny, and also it's locked behind locked doors. I can only get into there, no one else can, and the only way to get behind the counter is to go through the workshop. So in other words, this is purely staff only, customers literally can't get in here. And I'm sure you're going to say, Final Render, you sexy Titan stud, Final Render. But what if people want to use your workbenches? Well, for the sake of roleplay, we're just not going to let them. How about that? And now I know people really want to use all the workbenches and stuff when they're in Whitesprings, because if there's a nuke, they want to be able to make all their stable flux. But I figured, never mind. Never mind indeed. And we're going to put up some fences around here, which look really good. These ones actually do snap to the foundations, which looks nice. However, the little defensive ones, they can't. They can only snap to upper floors, which is a shame. And I also wanted to have these big billboard signs, but you can't put them next to each other. However, if you put one onto a rug, you then can. Rug glitches save the day yet again. You're able to merge these two right next to each other, get them very close. So it means you can actually get them onto a very small roof and see what they look like on both sides. And of course, using the very last of our budget, we're going to have another neon light sign saying store. Because that's what it is. And welcome to the anti-Whitesprings store, people. This little shop is fantastic. We've got everything you need to chill out and have some fun whilst waiting for weapon mods to be put into your guns or your power armor to be repaired. We've got a fantastic cooking area. We've got a little place to chill out in the sunshine of the Whitesprings, take a look at the beautiful green lawns, and just relax a little bit. The Whitesprings is probably one of the safest places in Appalachia because of all the robots, and it's beautiful. And of course, we do have our little workshop in here. Again, in order to get behind the counter, you need to go through the workshop, and that is locked only for me, members of staff. So therefore, you can kind of see how it works. You know, we kind of got this one-way system going there. And it works really well. We actually were able to get every kind of crafting area in there except the cooking, so that went on the roof, and they actually do all work as well. Sometimes you're very low on space. I also wanted to have a little window from the inside the shop looking into the workshop area. Not only does that make the shop feel bigger, but it also means customers can look through the window and they know I'm not trying to steal their gun or something like that. You know, I think that would be a smart thing to do. You definitely don't want customers thinking I'm ripping them off, so to speak. Alrighty then, people, so thank you very much for checking out this fantastic shop build. I really like this one. I think it's a really special build. And also, guys, remember, in just a few hours time, big updates coming to Fallout 76. The Sheep Squatch stuff is coming. You know, the brand new quest line, the huge vendor traders changes is coming, and I can't wait to see you soon. I'm also working away this weekend, so forgive me if it's less streams, but I'll see you around. This has been the Final Render, and you've been the audience. Until next time, farewell.